When you do something like that, do you think I think that's true? That's my opinion, okay? But why share it? Why share it, especially when Elon Musk has just dropped some big news? He's officially starting a podcast. Free speech is meaningless unless you allow people you don't like to say things you don't like. Musk's podcast is set to be anything but ordinary. Blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go yourself. Whether you're a fan of his bold ideas, a tech enthusiast, or just curious about what's going on in his world, this podcast is likely to be packed with insights, surprises, and maybe a few classic Musk moments. That was a pretty big deal. There was Twitter, and others engaged in active suppression of information that was relevant to the public. You know, who's to say that something is misinformation? Who's the author of that? In an era where podcasts have become one of the dominant forms of entertainment, information, and thought leadership, it's not surprising that some of the most influential figures in the world are now entering this space. From billionaires to thought leaders, politicians to cultural icons, everyone seems to be capitalizing on the massive reach and intimacy of podcasting. But there's one individual whose podcast debut will likely reverberate through the media landscape with particular force: Elon Musk. Elon Musk, the visionary entrepreneur known for revolutionizing industries ranging from electric vehicles to space travel, has made another audacious move that will undoubtedly capture the public's attention. He has officially announced that he will be launching his very own podcast. If you've been paying attention to Musk's career, you know that this isn't just another celebrity project. Musk has a history of disrupting industries, questioning conventional wisdom, and providing bold and filtered takes on the world. The announcement has left fans and critics alike buzzing with anticipation and speculation. In this video, we're going to break down the potential impact of Elon Musk's podcast, how it fits into his broader strategy, and what we can expect from this ambitious new venture. From the guests he might bring on to the topics he could explore, Musk's podcast has the potential to shape the future of media in unprecedented ways. 1. The evolution of podcasting. Before we dive into what Elon Musk's podcast will look like, it's important to take a moment and understand the rise of podcasting itself. The podcasting industry has seen exponential growth over the past decade. What began as an underground form of media, mainly used by niche creators and early adopters, has since become a mainstream phenomenon. According to recent statistics, over 100 million people in the United States alone listen to podcasts regularly. This growth has been fueled by the convenience of digital media, where listeners can access a vast library of content anytime and anywhere. Podcasting's rise has coincided with the decline of traditional media like radio and television, giving individuals more control over the information they consume. Musk is, of course, a master of identifying market trends and seizing opportunities. As the podcasting world continues to evolve, with major platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and even YouTube getting in on the action, it's no surprise that Musk has chosen to make his mark here. 2. Elon Musk's track record with media and communication. When you think about Elon Musk, the first things that likely come to mind are Tesla, SpaceX, and Neuralink. But what may be even more significant than his technological and entrepreneurial achievements is his ability to communicate. Musk has long recognized the power of social media, using platforms like Twitter to share thoughts, ideas, and company updates with millions of people. His Twitter account is famous for its unfiltered and often controversial tweets that grab headlines across the globe. Musk's social media presence has been a key part of his branding. Unlike many other high-profile figures, Musk has been able to bypass traditional media outlets and speak directly to the people. In many ways, his unconventional communication style has become just as iconic as his ventures in electric cars and rockets. But Twitter, as influential as it is, can only go so far. It's limited in length and often lacks the depth that Musk is known for. This is where a podcast offers a unique opportunity. A podcast would give Musk the ability to speak freely and deeply about his views on a wide range of topics, unrestrained by character limits or sound bites. It's a format that allows for longer, more meaningful conversations, and Musk has demonstrated time and time again that he has no shortage of thoughts on the big issues facing humanity. Anari, the timing, why now? Elon Musk's decision to start a podcast comes at a pivotal moment. In many ways, Musk has reached the peak of his career. Tesla has become one of the most valuable companies in the world, SpaceX has revolutionized space travel, and Neuralink is on the verge of groundbreaking advancements in brain-machine interfaces. But what does the future hold for Musk? It's clear that Musk isn't someone who rests on his laurels. He thrives on pushing the envelope and setting his sights on new frontiers. So why a podcast now? The answer is likely multifaceted. First, Musk has always been passionate about sharing his vision for the future, a future where humanity is interplanetary, where AI augments human capabilities, and where sustainable energy transforms the way we live. The podcast could serve as an outlet for him to articulate these bold ideas in greater detail and to engage with a wider audience. Additionally, a podcast could allow Musk to diversify his media presence even further. For years, Musk has given interviews and been featured in podcasts like the one hosted by Joe Rogan, where he was able to engage in longer discussions about his companies and ideas. However, having his own podcast means that he controls the narrative. He can decide the guests, the topics, and the direction of the conversations. For someone like Musk, who has often been the subject of both praise and criticism, this level of control is incredibly valuable. Finally, a podcast would allow Musk to position himself as a thought leader in new areas beyond the world of electric cars and space travel. Musk has expressed deep concerns about AI, the future of humanity, and the need for global sustainability. His podcast could become a platform for discussing these pressing issues with experts, researchers, and innovators from across the globe. 4. Who will be on Elon Musk's podcast? One of the biggest questions surrounding Musk's podcast is who he will choose to have as guests, given Musk's vast network, the possibilities are nearly endless. Will he bring on fellow billionaires like Jeff Bezos or Richard Branson to discuss the future of space exploration? Will he invite top scientists to talk about the latest advancements in AI, energy, or neuroscience? Based on his past appearances on podcasts and interviews, it's clear that Musk has a broad range of interests. Some guests who could make for compelling episodes might include tech innovators and entrepreneurs. Think of names like Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, or Larry Page, who are all influential figures in the tech world. A conversation between Musk and these figures would likely delve into topics like the future of artificial intelligence, autonomous vehicles, and how tech companies can balance innovation with ethics. Space exploration leaders, Musk could invite top space experts from NASA, astronauts, or even former NASA administrators to talk about the future of space travel, the Moon, Mars, and beyond. A roundtable with space explorers would not only be fascinating but could also drive interest in Musk's own projects at SpaceX. Philosophers and futurists, Musk has often spoken about the potential dangers of AI and the future of human civilization. Having thinkers like Nick Bostrom, who has written extensively about the risks of advanced AI, or futurists like Ray Kurzweil, who predicts the future of human technology integration, would provide listeners with profound insights. Scientists and researchers, Neuralink could be an obvious segue into podcasts focused on neuroscience, where Musk might bring on experts in brain-computer interfaces, cognitive sciences, or medical technology. Artists and creatives, as a visionary, Musk has always appreciated creativity, often citing how innovation often comes from the confluence of art and science. A podcast with creative minds from fields like design, architecture, or even gaming could reveal Musk's more imaginative side. By bringing in such a diverse group of guests, Musk's podcast could cover a wide range of topics, from technology and space to philosophy, the future of humanity, and beyond. Each episode could feel like a master class on a specific area of innovation, with Musk at the helm, guiding the conversation toward new, uncharted territories. 5. Potential topics of discussion. The topics covered on Elon Musk's podcast will undoubtedly span many fields. Musk has always been someone who thinks big and thinks long-term. Here are some of the topics that might take center stage. The future of electric vehicles, a topic near and dear to Musk's heart. Tesla and the entire electric vehicle ecosystem could be the subject of numerous episodes. Discussions could range from the future of autonomous vehicles to the energy grid and how electric cars will integrate with the world's broader transportation system. Space exploration and Mars colonization. SpaceX's ambitious plans for Mars colonization have been well documented, and Musk's podcast could provide listeners with an inside look at how the company is preparing for the challenges of establishing a human presence on another planet. Artificial intelligence and the singularity. Musk has frequently warned about the potential dangers of uncontrolled AI. His podcast could be a space where he invites AI experts, ethicists, and futurists to debate the best path forward in the age of artificial intelligence. Neuralink and the brain-machine interface. As Musk's Neuralink's project continues to develop, and his podcast could serve as a platform to dive deep into the science behind brain-machine interfaces, how they could revolutionize medicine, and the ethical considerations involved. Sustainability and climate change. Musk's commitment to renewable energy, from solar power to battery storage, aligns with his vision of a sustainable future. His podcast could highlight the importance of addressing climate change and how technology can play a pivotal role in creating a cleaner, greener planet. The future of work and society. As automation and AI continue to reshape the workforce, Musk's podcast could examine the implications of these technologies on jobs, the economy, and the broader structure of society. The role of innovation in society. Musk has often talked about how innovation is the key to solving humanity's greatest challenges. His podcast could explore how innovative solutions have historically transformed society and what the next big breakthroughs will look like. The impact of Musk's podcast on media. Elon Musk's entrance into the podcast world is significant, not just for the content he will produce, but also for the impact it could have on the broader media landscape. Musk has always been a figure who challenges the status quo, and his podcast may do the same for the podcasting world. One potential outcome of Musk's podcast is that it could set a new standard for how podcasts are produced and consumed. Given Musk's deep understanding of technology, it's possible that he could bring a level of sophistication and innovation to podcasting that hasn't been seen before. From the technical production values to the integration of interactive elements or live broadcasts, Musk's podcast could push the boundaries of what podcasting can be. Additionally, Musk's ability to attract some of the world's top minds as guests would likely elevate the intellectual caliber of discussions in the podcasting space. While many podcasts today focus on entertainment or niche topics, Musk's could provide deep dives into some of the most important issues facing humanity. This would not only bring a different flavor to podcasting but also inspire a new generation of creators to think bigger and tackle larger issues through media. The strategic move. Why Elon Musk's podcast is an important business decision. Elon Musk has never been one to shy away from unconventional moves. He's always been a step ahead, whether it's with his electric vehicle empire, the colonization of Mars, or his ventures into brain-machine interfaces. His decision to start a podcast is no exception. It's yet another masterstroke in building his brand and connecting with a global audience. Musk's career has been defined by a relentless pursuit of innovation and progress. Each of his companies has disrupted a different industry, and now his podcast could offer him another platform to disrupt traditional media channels. The podcast could not only help him communicate directly with millions of people but could also give him a stronger foothold in the evolving media ecosystem. Through his social media, particularly Twitter, Musk has already proved that he can shape narratives and create buzz without relying on traditional media outlets. His podcast could amplify this even further, allowing him to control the flow of information without the filter of journalists or editors. This direct-to-consumer model is appealing, especially in a time when traditional media is becoming more fragmented and less trusted by the public. Moreover, Musk's podcast would allow him to engage with a broad spectrum of people, ranging from fans of his technology companies to skeptics, critics, and even other entrepreneurs and celebrities. As a result, his podcast could serve as an excellent way to influence public opinion, sway potential customers or investors, and create an even more powerful connection between Musk and his followers. Leveraging personal branding. Musk's brand is built on his vision of the future. Whether it's launching reusable rockets, sending humans to Mars, or advancing human-computer interaction, Musk has always positioned himself as someone who thinks beyond the immediate and into the future. His podcast could reinforce this persona, showcasing his intellectual depth and willingness to tackle subjects that others might avoid. By starting a podcast, Musk is reinforcing his image as someone who is not just a businessman, but a visionary, and podcasts, which allow for longer-form discussions, are the perfect medium for him to showcase this side of his persona. Personality. Through intimate conversations and interviews, Musk can provide audiences with insights into his thought process and how he navigates challenges in business, technology, and life. It's a chance to humanize him even further, showing listeners that he is not just the CEO of a high-profile company but someone who thinks deeply about the future of society. Diversification of influence. Musk's podcast could also serve as a new form of diversification for his business empire. Traditionally, the core of Musk's success has been his ventures with Tesla, SpaceX, and other enterprises. However, through his podcast, Musk can diversify his influence into an entirely new domain, media. By establishing a podcast that could rival the likes of popular media personalities and intellectuals, Musk's reach would extend even further, making him a multidimensional figure. In a way, this podcast could be a way for Musk to create a digital ecosystem that supports his other businesses. He could use it as a vehicle for promoting Tesla's electric vehicles, SpaceX's space missions, or even Neuralink's advancements. Each podcast episode could seamlessly integrate Musk's various companies, generating more interest and driving traffic to their websites and products. But more importantly, Musk can use his podcast to present his big-picture vision, positioning himself as an advocate for radical change, global sustainability, and human progress. What will set Musk's podcast apart from others? The podcasting space is already crowded with millions of shows across all genres, so what could Musk bring to the table that would differentiate his podcast from others? The answer lies in his persona and his ability to disrupt industries. Authenticity and raw conversations. One of the major draws of podcasts, especially for listeners who follow personalities like Joe Rogan, is the raw, unfiltered nature of the content. People tune in to hear real conversations, free from the restrictions of scripted TV or edited news segments. Musk's podcast will likely capitalize on this desire for authenticity. As someone who's known for his spontaneous tweets and sometimes controversial statements, Musk has already demonstrated that he's not afraid to speak his mind, even when his comments stir controversy. This quality is likely to translate into his podcast as well. Whether discussing technology, space exploration, or societal issues, Musk's willingness to engage in raw, unscripted conversations will set his podcast apart. It's one of the reasons why people gravitate toward platforms like Rogan's podcast or even Musk's own social media. Listeners will tune in not just to hear what Musk says, but to hear it in his own voice, with all the quirks, passions, and authenticity that come with it. The innovation factor. Another unique aspect of Musk's podcast is the sheer scope of innovation he has come to represent. Whether he's talking about space missions or electric cars, Musk has an unparalleled ability to innovate and challenge the status quo. This mindset will likely come through in his podcast discussions. Musk's show won't just be about high-level thoughts on technology or business, it will also explore the practical steps behind the innovations he's involved in. He'll give listeners insights into how new technologies are developed, the hurdles innovators face, and what it takes to launch a successful company. This will be a podcast that goes beyond theoretical knowledge and offers listeners a behind-the-scenes look at what it takes to build some of the most groundbreaking technologies in the world. Guest diversity. Musk has built relationships with some of the most prominent figures in the worlds of technology, science, entertainment, and beyond. His podcast will likely feature a wide range of guests, from world-class scientists to fellow entrepreneurs, philosophers, and artists. This diversity of guests will bring a variety of perspectives to the table, ensuring that Musk's podcast is not just about his own views, but also about engaging in thought-provoking conversations with people from different walks of life. Having an expansive range of voices will also keep the content fresh. The variety of topics and viewpoints will make it much more than a one-dimensional show about technology. It will be a place where global issues, ethical dilemmas, philosophical musings, and futuristic predictions can be discussed in depth. Global reach and the future of communication. Musk's podcast will also likely resonate across the globe, reaching listeners from all corners of the world. As someone who is a vocal proponent of humanity becoming a multiplanetary species, it wouldn't be a stretch to imagine Musk using his platform to bring attention to issues that affect the world on a larger scale, like climate change, artificial intelligence regulation, and even the democratization of space. He has an unprecedented global reach, and his podcast would give him the perfect platform to speak directly to the masses about critical issues that shape the future of civilization. With his vision for space exploration, global energy sustainability, and cutting-edge technology, Musk's podcast could provide listeners with a glimpse into the world of tomorrow, one where technology shapes society in ways we can barely comprehend today. Predictions for Musk's podcast: what could it look like in the future? While Musk's podcast is still in its early stages, it's already possible to predict a few things about what it will look like in the coming months and years. Here are some potential trends and developments that could emerge. Expanding into multimedia content. Given Musk's inclination toward innovation, it wouldn't be surprising if his podcast eventually expanded into a multimedia format. We could see episodes that incorporate video, virtual reality, or even interactive components, allowing Musk to engage with his audience in entirely new ways. Considering his ventures in artificial intelligence and augmented reality, Musk could experiment with different forms of content that push the boundaries of traditional podcasting. A focus on big ideas and big topics, Musk's podcast could become a place where big ideas are presented and debated. As a leading figure in space exploration, renewable energy, and artificial intelligence, Musk's podcast will likely focus on topics that have profound implications for the future of humanity. Think deep dives into the ethics of AI, the challenges of colonizing Mars, or the political landscape surrounding global sustainability. With his access to thought leaders and innovators, Musk will be able to shape these discussions in ways that are sure to generate both excitement and controversy. Collaborations and crossovers with other influential figures. Musk's podcast could also become a platform for collaboration with other high-profile individuals from a variety of fields. He has established relationships with a wide range of influential figures in business, technology, and science. Over time, we may see crossover episodes with people like Jeff Bezos, Tim Cook, or even Joe Rogan himself. These collaborations would provide listeners with a diverse range of viewpoints and add another layer of interest to the podcast. Conclusion: Elon Musk's announcement that he is officially starting a podcast is more than just another media project, it's a game changer. With his unmatched vision, unfiltered communication style, and access to some of the world's brightest minds, Musk has the potential to reshape the podcasting world in the same way he's reshaped industries like electric vehicles, space travel, and AI. As Musk steps into the podcasting world, the possibilities are endless. Whether he's discussing the future of humanity, the potential dangers of AI, or the pursuit of sustainable energy, Musk's podcast will no doubt offer thought-provoking discussions that will keep listeners coming back for more. There's no telling exactly what the future holds for Musk's podcast, but one thing is certain: it's going to be one of the most exciting, unpredictable, and insightful shows on the planet. Keep an eye on this space because Elon Musk is about to shake up the podcasting world in ways we can't even imagine yet.